you. In today's Health Alert, celebrate the magic of the holidays while giving a helping hand to those living with HIV and AIDS. Joining us today for a Talk of the Town, a familiar face you may recognize, Leslie Jordan from the hit show Will and Grace. Also with us today is Garrett Humphries. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
First of all, Leslie, I mean, you were just in London with Katy Perry, and now you're just a little old me in South Carolina.
But she looked like a blonde Katy Perry.
What brings you here? Tell us.
Well, you know, after Will and Grace, you get a little bit of, I hate to say fame, but you get the only thing it's good for is a platform. And then you got to decide if you're going to give or you're going to take, and there's a lot of taking in Hollywood. So I try really hard whenever I'm asked to give. And so when they called and asked me would I do this event, anything to do with HIV, AIDS, I'm there, you know.
And why is that?
Well, I'm a gay man who buried an entire phone directory in the 1980s. I mean, that's what we did. We just marked names out of our phone directory and went to memorial services. And so I'm very involved with anything to do. I've been in the trenches for years and years, you know, helping raise money. And so when they called, I said, okay, in Columbia, I'm from the South. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee, so any chance I can get
to
return to my roots, where I can get cornbread with no sugar in it, and I'm here.
We like to hear that. Well, talk about being gay, growing up gay in the South.
Well, my daddy was a lieutenant colonel in the Army.
I know.
I was not exactly the son he envisioned. He used to call me son as if he was in deep pain, you know, just, oh, son.
Oh, goodness.
But I was, you know, I was really funny, and I learned at a very early age that's how you keep the bullies at bay, you know, if I can make them laugh. But it's been this long sort of journey where my dad was killed in a plane crash when I was 11, which is a horrible time for a boy to lose his father. But it was really hard for me because I felt that in some way I had been this disappointment. And so I'm also very involved not only with HIV causes, but there's been this rash of suicide among gay kids, which breaks my heart. I'm involved with this organization called the Trevor Project in Los Angeles, which is a suicidal hotline for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, questioning kids. When they plugged in almost 10 years ago, they got 15,000 calls from these kids that were considering suicide, the majority of which came from the Bible Belt, which is sort of my story, which is what my comedy is about. It doesn't sound like a real funny, but that's my comedy. You know, I did 45 cities last year with a show called My Trip Down the Pink Carpet. We ended up in New York. It ran 14 months off Broadway, huge hit. Lily Tomlin produced it for me, and that's why I was in London last week.
Right, and you're using your fame to bring awareness to things like this. And Garrett, what is it like having a celebrity here and bringing that celebrity status to your event?
We're very excited to have Leslie. We're so thankful that he's coming to help support our cause tonight and help us raise money for a much-needed cause here in South Carolina, especially Columbia.
And what will the money raised from this event go towards specifically?
There are several organizations around the state who apply for grants through the AIDS Benefit Foundation of South Carolina, and all the money that we raise, about 95–96% of that goes back to grant funding throughout the state of South Carolina.
Well, there is the information on your screen. Come out and meet Leslie tonight. That's at 6:30, right?
6:30, and donations can be taken on the website to get tickets for the event, the gala tonight, at www.palmettoholidayshowcase.com.
That's right. We also have that on our website. And thank you both so much for being here. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Well, coming up next, get ready to chow down on the best barbecue in the South this weekend while supporting our local firefighters. It's the Talk of the Town from the capital city.